Hello and welcome back to Cast On, a knitting podcast where I talk about my finished objects, my whips, some yarn acquisitions and some more knitting things. My name is Ellie, I am from Austria and this is episode number 35. Hello, I am so glad you could join me once again. I am back. For those of you who don't know, I've been to the UK, specifically to London for 1 week. That's why there wasn't a podcast episode last time, and it's been a while. So I need to get back into the groove. I'm not sure how long this episode will be today because I've not really worked on that many things. I know it's been like a month since the last episode, but because of my travel and stuff that happened before and after, it's all just been chaos, pure chaos, and I didn't really have a lot of knitting time or motivation. Before we get into this podcast episode, I have to ask you guys something. Because Christmas is not very far away anymore, Vlogmas is coming back in full force, and I would be interested to know if you want me to do a Vlogmas this year. I've done one last year. Those were just kind of weekly videos. To be honest, my life isn't that interesting. I really don't do a lot during the days, so I don't know if you would like to see anything like that, or if you would like to see more like, I don't know, weekly videos where I talk about a specific topic, where we have Q&A things. I really don't know, it's all up to you, but do let me know so I can start planning, and also kind of what you would like to see me do, because I just would do anything, but obviously I want to create content that you would like to watch and, I don't know, would like to know about me, whatever it is. Let me know down below or send me an Instagram message. I will also pull up a poll on Instagram as well, because, or maybe YouTube as well actually. Probably both platforms, just to be on the safe side. But yeah, let me know if you want to see anything like that this Christmas, and we can start with the episode now. Anyhow, I will start with my finished objects. As a little disclaimer at the beginning, I don't really show my yarn that I bought in the UK. I will have a video coming out next week where I talk about my travel specifically, and also yarn shops I went to and everything that I brought back. So stay tuned for that. It's a really exciting and fun episode. I've already filmed it, and today I will only go through the stuff that kind of happened before I left. I hope that's okay, and if you're interested in some more UK stuff, I will talk a little bit about it at the end of this episode. Right, with that out of the way, I have one finished object, and I literally finished that last night at like 10 o'clock. I finished my second sock. It's just a plain old vanilla sock with Ferner Wolle. This is the yarn that I used. It's called Ferner Wolle Lungauer Socken. It does have 56% superwash wool and 25% cotton and 19% polyamide, recycled polyamide. You get 420 meters in this whole ball, and I have this much left. I don't know how much that is. I have to weigh it. I also have to weigh the socks, but I'm pretty sure I can get another pair of socks out of this. I normally can with Ferner Wolle, because I've worked with this type of wool before, or specifically the company and their sock wool. Yeah, so this is the second sock, and this is the first one. I still have to block it. I did a rounded toe, and as you can see, it's not really rounded. It has this really awkward tip at the top, I don't know how to fix that. That happened with the first sock as well. I tried to block it out, but it just didn't happen. So I've linked the video that I used in one of my other podcast videos about the rounded toes. I can link it down below once again if you're interested. If you have any other really good tutorial on how to make rounded toe socks, because I prefer the look of them, then please let me know, because this clearly is not rounded. I started out with 64 stitches, which is a little bit too big for my feet, but I think I used the old Norwegian cast on to have like a really nice stretchy cast on edge, so I can get my foot through it. Obviously you can see I did not colour match. I just, when I finished with this sock, this is kind of how the repeat goes. I'm not too bothered, these are just going to be my at-home socks. And yeah, one thing I have to say though with this wool, the blocked one is so soft. I mean, not that the unblocked one, the normal wool from the ball, is not soft for what it is with a cotton percentage in it, but this is softening up so much. So I can't wait to block this. I still don't have any sock blockers. I will either get them for Christmas or just buy them whenever, but the problem is I kind of want a set. I don't just want one blocker, I want like a variety, specifically of the sizes that I know I will make for other people and socks. And I've just not found a really good set that I also like. So I just put this in water and then kind of lay it out like normal. I don't know if that's correct or that's how you do it, but it worked with the other one, so that's what I'm gonna do again. So those were my one and only finished objects. Really it's just one, because I just finished one sock, but now I finally have a pair, and yeah, relatively happy with it. Now let's talk about whips. I have a lot of whips. I've had a lot of whips in my last episode before I left, and now I have even more whips. I really don't know where I was last time and what I said about the projects last time, so I'm just gonna pull everything out and show you once again. I'm sorry if this is like a repeat, and if you're watching my videos back to back, it's just that it's been a month for me and I really don't know where I was last time. So I do know that I worked on this quite monogamously before I left, because I really wanted to have this sweater with me in London, and clearly it didn't happen, but I was just not stressing about it anymore. So here is my Kerr sweater by Rebecca Clow. This is what it looks like. I now have a finished bottom, hem. I have a really nice neckline, double folded, and I have almost a completed sleeve. I did not have a sleeve last time, I know that. So I have the colour work here. That was really easy compared to the body. The colour work itself is not very difficult, it's just really long. And with the sleeve you have a small circumference, so you have fewer repeats. I'm making the size 3, so I only have for the sleeve 3 full repeats and then 6 stitches from the 4th one. So it goes by a lot faster than what the body did. So I hope I can finish this by next time. You do have some short rows at the beginning of the sleeve. You can see here that this is a lot more than down here, and this is just for the visual aspect, so the colour work kind of, when you have it, gosh this is so difficult, when you see it on the body, here's the sleeve, that it kind of continues round and it's not like choppy. So you have the colour work like here, and then it goes like this. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you do have some short rows. Those were also not really difficult. And I do have to try on this sweater because I am currently on the ribbing. I hate ribbing for sleeves. I don't enjoy it. I would probably do way better with magic loop, but I also don't like magic loop because I always get a really stretched out stitch, and I've tried like everything under the sun to try and avoid that, and it's just not happening. So I do have to go back to my circular needles, and this cable is just too long for the sleeve circumference. So can you see how this is like now super stretched out? So I have to try it on and see how much longer I want the ribbing to be, because I don't like my sleeves to overhang my hand, so I need to make sure that that doesn't happen. And then finally bind off, and then start on the second sleeve. The wool, or the yarn should I say, that I'm using is Ferner Wolle, once again, Lambswool, first cut Lambswool. I found out this is what the whole description of this yarn is. This is colour 1004 and the white is 1001. It's a really nice wool. I will definitely buy this again. It is Austrian wool as well, so it's a local-ish yarn for me, or produced in Austria. So I'm really happy. I can't wait to see how this blocks. I have really high hopes that it will soften up even more. For me, this is already really soft. It's not scratchy, it's not itchy. It's also really spun evenly, so you don't have any like big bulk anywhere, or any kind of pills or whatever. And I'm really happy with how this is knitting up. I think my colour work is really even with this yarn. I've never really had it this even before. I will show you something a little bit later in terms of colour work, but I will definitely buy this yarn again. And it's also really affordable. I think it was like €6 or 7, between 5 and 7, let's say. I think that's a good estimate. So yeah, really happy. If you can get your hands on this yarn, definitely do it. I tell you, you won't regret it. They also have a really big colour choice. Anyway, that's my Kerr sweater. Of course, we need to stay hydrated. I have a nice hot cup of tea because it's cold in my living room. The temperatures dropped quite fast this year. It's been really warm throughout all of September and October, which is very unusual. And then in like the last October week to early November, it went from like 15 degrees to 7. So that was quite a big drop, and now I'm just super cold. I bought some more blankets for the apartment because at night I get really cold, so I need that warmth, and I don't like to put the heating on because electricity is expensive. Anyways, back to whips. The other whip that I have worked on since last time, because I worked on that just a few days ago, is my Eva Cardigan by PetiteKnit. I'm making the smallest size, which is also really big for me. And this is what it looks like. The cable is still too short, and the stitches are still too many on it. But this is what it looks like. This is the back. And now I have a nice front. I believe last time I only just bound off for the sleeves or like put the sleeve stitches on hold. I can't remember, but this is how much I have so far from under the sleeve. and it's coming together really well. I love this shoulder detail in the back. I think it looks really, really nice. A very cool construction. I've never done anything like that before, and I'm interested to see how this actually falls on to my shoulders. I have to say I am a bit scared about the button band because it's such a huge garment that the button band will take me forever. But I can't wait to finish this. I really need this cardigan, but it's taken me so long. I have to watch something with this piece once I have my cute needle stoppers, my fox. Anyway, I have to watch something with this piece, otherwise I will never be able to really finish it, because it just takes such a long time to purl back. Purling is, I hate purling, I despise it, I really, really don't like it. And with cardigans, you kind of need to do a lot of purling if you don't want to steek your cardigan. And because this is not a steeked cardigan pattern, I have to do a lot of purling. What I did though was I found the Sewing Bee for me to watch. It's like the Great British Bake Off, but for sewing. It's called the Great British Sewing Bee, and I watched the last, I think, 3 seasons, 3 or 4. There were not all of them from where I could watch them, but I watched this year's, and yeah, this year's, and I think 3 years before that, or 2 maybe, I don't know, I can't remember. I did have the Corona episode like season in there as well, so it must have been like 3 or 4 years. Anyways, great show if you like sewing. I was so inspired. I could never do that, but all of the people, it was just so fun to watch and see what they create. It's kind of the same build up as the Great British Bake Off, if you're not familiar with that. I will explain it for the Sewing Bee if you're interested. It's just a British TV show, and you have 12 candidates that come into the room, and every week one candidate will have to go home. It's all a competition. The winner at the end, I believe they get some prize money and a little like statue that says winner of the Sewing Bee, etc. And they make amazing garments. You have a pattern challenge where the judges give you a pattern, and then you have to achieve that pattern and that garment in a specific time. You have free range of fabric, etc. The second challenge is a recycling challenge, so you use something old and make it into something completely different. And the third one is the made to measure, where they have their own model and they have to tailor the garments to the model so it fits correctly and it looks good. So I don't know if anyone's interested or if I just rambled for myself, but great show, highly recommended. Would like to watch a lot more of it. And when I watched that, I got quite a lot done with this one, because you're watching and or listening and you don't even realize how fast time goes. That was very long-winded, I'm really sorry. As for the yarn, I'm using Drops Karisma. It is 100% superwash wool in the color 77. It is a light beige, almost leaning onto grey, and you get 100 meters in this one in 50 grams, and the stitch gauge is 21 stitches. To change it up, I might start with the sleeves and then finish the body, or make one sleeve, try and do a lot on the body and then do the other sleeve for some variety. But at the same time, this is already quite heavy, and with one sleeve I'm not sure if that might not get in the way even more with finishing the body by like flipping it and doing some kind of, yeah, cooking magic. Anyways, Eva Cardigan, Don't know when and how much I'm gonna work on it. It's a really nice garment, but it takes a long time, at least for me, because I don't like purling, and it's not really a piece that you can take with you wherever you go because it is so big. I mean, I'm not even halfway done and this already fits in the whole tote bag and then it's full. Like, what the heck. Anyways, moving on. Those are really the only 2 whips I have worked on as far as I can remember. I still need to do the ties on my cardigan. As you can see, it's really wrinkled and crumpled up because it's just lying in my basket. I still need to do the ties for both sides. This is the Robinson wrap cardigan by Florence Miller. Yeah, you can watch other episodes, probably even the last one where I talked about this piece. I started this in July and I think I talked about it in pretty much every episode, so you can go and check all of those out. And then the other whip that I've not really touched as far as I know is the Tuku by the Petite Knitter. It's a colourwork round yoke. This is what it looks like. I have finished the 3rd colour chart and I think I just started on the last one. I have one more to go. I have one more increase round to do and then I am done with the colourwork, and then it should be smooth sailing because it's just gonna be straight up stockinette knitting for both the body and the sleeves. So I do need to crack on with the colour work because this was supposed to be an autumn piece. Obviously that didn't happen. I'm always really excited to cast things on and then my motivation kind of sinks. It's like an inverted exponential curve. Is that the word? Like from the top it kind of goes down the longer the project goes on. But it looks so good. I'm just seeing it in the camera. It looks so good. I did even out my floats at the top. You can see there is quite a lot of puckering going on. I did try and avoid that at the bottom. I love doing colour work, but I'm not the best at pulling or like making nice neat floats, because sometimes my floats, I pull them too much and then they're too loose, and sometimes they're too tight, so you get puckering. But this is what it looks on the inside. I think that's quite neat, to be fair. Looks really cool. Anyways, the yarn for this, I'm using a Woolly Knit 100% British wool from the Cones. It is a fingering weight yarn, so I'm holding a double in cinnamon brown and just their off-white or white, whatever they have, I can't remember. Yeah, need to work on that. And the last whip that I have, and that's a new one, and that kind of also goes hand in hand with my yarn acquisitions, which we'll get to in a minute, is I started another sock. I have a little bit of background stuff to tell you about the yarn, but this is what it looks like. I started this yesterday evening. I am doing a different coloured heel, what's that, leg, heel and toe. Is that the right word? I'm so confused. I'm doing different colours for the top, the heel and the toe, because I bought this yarn twice. This is West Yorkshire Spinner's Signature for Ply in the colour Robin. I have wanted this yarn ever since it came out. This is from a Christmas collection last year, and it was so difficult to find this here. And then when I knew I was going to England, I saw that I went to Beautiful Knitters. I can take that away already. I went there and they had this yarn, but when I looked at the web shop about a month before that, I saw that they only had one ball left, and I knew, or I wasn't sure if they would get more in stock when I would get to the shop a month later. So I was kind of panicking because this was the first time I could really have this yarn in reach. So I bought some yarn from a different company, also from England. They had a shop in London and then they closed down and moved to the north, so I couldn't visit that shop. And that's kind of where this whole rigmarole started, because I saw that they also had this yarn, so I bought it from this other shop. And when I got to London and Beautiful Knitters, they also had this. But what happened with my yarn parcel, for a whole month I didn't know where it was. It said, so for 3 weeks it said it's still leaving the UK, kind of they don't know where it is, and then for the last week and a bit they said it's stuck in customs. I think they lost it, to be honest. I'm gonna be totally honest, I think they lost it because it's very odd to have a parcel that's about this big being stuck in customs for a whole month, not knowing any information about it, and it clearly says there's only wool in it. I might be wrong, I might be whatever, but whenever I bought some from England, it did not take that long to get the parcel through customs, not a whole month. Anyways, so because at that time I didn't know that the parcel would still arrive, because in my mind it was lost, it was gone, I would never receive the yarn, this yarn specifically. So I bought it again from Beautiful Knitters. So I have 2 balls of this yarn. And what am I gonna do with 2 balls of this yarn? So I thought for this year it might be really fun to make my family matching Christmas socks. So that's what I'm doing. This is the start for the first pair of socks. This is going to be hopefully for my mum. I'm making different cuffs, that's what I'm missing the word. I'm making different coloured cuffs, heels and toes, so you can actually, so you know which sock belongs to whom. I mean, you kind of know that with the size because my brother has really big feet, but I thought that would be a fun idea. So that's why I started yesterday. This will be the sock for my mum. She's only 1 shoe size bigger than me. I am a 38, she is a 39, so should these not fit me, then I know that they are too small. That was, again, a really long story. So it looks so cute. I am so happy with this yarn. It feels really nice. You get 420 meters in it, I think, or 400 meters. You get 100 grams of this. It's 70%, 75% wool, 25% nylon. The stitch gauge is 28 and the recommended needle size is 3.25. I'm using 2.5mm needles because I've worked with this type of yarn before, and that's kind of what worked for me, to also get a nice tight gauge without being too super loose or gapey. I've also cast on the cuff for the second sock already, because I'm not a huge sock knitter. I always knit socks when Christmas comes around again, I don't know why, but they are not my favourite thing to work on, mostly because my hands cramp a lot with those tiny needles. Then you might say, well, you can always use magic loop or whatever, but because I always get this loose stitch, it's really obvious on the sock, and I've not had a good result with it. That's why I like to stick with round circular needles. This is literally just the cast on for the ribbing. So my mum will hopefully get white. My brother will get this nice brown. I love this colour. I probably will have more leftovers, and then I want to make my own socks with this brown. And I would like some red. I'm still on the fence if I want it red or I have a nice light grey, which would also work because you do have grey in this one here. I'm actually just in the grey portion. But I thought red might be a fun colour because it's Christmas. For all of these contrasting colours, they're all from Lana Grossa. Meilenweit. I bought this yarn last year because I made some socks with colour work. That was a whole nother story. This is 80% wool, 25% polyamide, also 28 stitches for the stitch gauge, and you get 210 meters in 50 grams. I think that is everything I have to say about this sock. I love making self-striping socks because they go a lot faster in my opinion, because I feel like, oh, I want to knit to the next stripe and then it's a really nice colour, and then I'm saying, oh, I can do that colour as well, and then all of a sudden I have like half of the leg done. It's probably also already time for splitting for the heel. I'm just kind of going off my gut feeling and some other videos, because this is the first time I'm making socks for my family, so I don't know how the fit will be. I hope and pray that it will fit and it won't be too tight or any kind of troubles. We'll just have to see. I'll just have to make them, and yeah, just tell them if they're not happy with it, then they can just put it in the closet and not look at it again. I also made this project bag a while ago now actually. I really felt like using up some of my scraps, and these fabrics are all from dresses that I made this year, and I think it looks really cute. This is the back, really nice brown colour. This time I have a zip, and the lining is just a standard polka dot lining. So with this new project bag I can probably put my sock in there and it fits perfectly. Ta-da! Right, these were all of my whips. So many. Actually, that's not true. One second, I have one more, but this is an old whip and I need your opinion. Last Christmas I had an accounting lecture and I was super bored because I've heard this lecture twice before. And you know, when you are in a lecture university, your mind wanders when you're not that interested and it's super boring and super long, and I decided to buy some yarn for a project. That's kind of how it started. I wasn't gonna make a Christmas knit or Christmas sweater, but I thought this looks so nice. I kind of want to have it. It doesn't have to be for Christmas, but it would be nice to eventually have it. So this is the Festive Yoke sweater by Skeindeer Knits, I believe. Beautiful pattern. You can mismatch all of the designs. She has so many. You can have the whole sweater in colour work. You can only do the yoke. You can do whatever you want. It's kind of like a build your own sweater type of thing. It looks really good from afar, but when you get closer you see there is a lot of puckering, and I'm not sure if I should keep it like this or if I should unravel it and start again. This colour work was a lot of work. it was a lot of work. So I ideally would like to not have to unravel it, but at the same time I don't know because of the puckering. Also, the yarn I'm using is Holst Supersoft. You have to go onto my Ravelry or check down below. I can't remember the colours. The white is like the bleached white, and the red is, I don't even know. I know I still have 2 more skeins of the red because I still need to do the sleeves and the rest of the ribbing. I do know what needle size I need to use because I put a sheet of paper on it so I know when I come back to this what needle size I used. The thing with this yarn is, and I've never worked with this yarn before, but people said it will bloom, it will definitely bloom. It's gonna be more like a DK weight or like a light DK weight yarn instead of a fingering weight, which what it feels very much like when you knit with it. And it is very see-through. It's very see-through and holey which is another thing why I'm so hesitant to kind of pick this up again and finish it, because I really don't know how this is going to turn out, because this is not great. Since then I have made a gauge swatch and I have used it holding it single and holding it double, and holding it single it did not fill out the gaps as much as I thought it would do. My steamer broke, so I can't even block out just the yoke to see if the puckering will disappear or if it won't because of the tight floats. So I have to wash the whole thing and block it properly and wait for days to see if it is salvageable or not. So let me know if I should finish it, if I should say puckering, whatever, just finish it and then see if you like it or not, or yeah, kind of like what your opinion is. It would be a great Christmas sweater. I don't know which size I made. I don't even know if it would still fit me because it seems very small and very tight fitting. I do believe though that this sweater does not have a lot of positive ease anyways, so it's meant to be quite snug. But yeah, let me know about this. If I should pick it up again, I would like to, but at the same time I work on 3.75mm needles and I only have those in my shorty set, my Licker or Luca shorty set, and that was quite difficult to work with because for the whole body you have to work with shorties. Maybe that was a stupid thing to do in the first place. Anyways, that is another whip. That's like an old whip that I dug out because Christmas kind of is around the corner now. It's not that much long left of the year, and I'm kind of sad about it because this autumn once again has just flown by, and autumn is my favourite season. So I'm very sad. But yeah, now that really was my last whip. Now onto the yarn acquisitions. So I already showed you the sock yarn that I got. I got this from Tribe Yarn or Tribe Yarns. I can't remember. Like I said, they used to be in London and then they moved up north. I don't even know where they moved to. They have an amazing yarn selection, and they have some yarn that I've wanted to try for a long time as well, and I can't find these, pardon me, excuse me, I can't find these yarns in Austria. That is kind of my goal whenever I go traveling as well, that I get yarn that I can't necessarily get here. So I got myself some Biches Bûches, Le Petite Lambswool. It is made in the UK, funnily enough. I always thought this was a French yarn because it's called Biches Bûches, but no, made in the UK. This is a fingering weight yarn, 22 to 24 stitch gauge, 3mm needles, 2 3.5, and this is colour grey beige. It's a really nice grey beige. I can't explain it any better than this. I bought 3 of these. You get, how much yarn do you get again? 248 meters in 50 grams. So I got 3 of this, and I also got the mohair. I'm hesitant with mohair, but I think this is going to be alright. I am sensitive around my neck, that's why I'm hesitant with it, but so far I've not had any more bad experiences with high quality mohair, I would say, because this was quite expensive. Or was it? I can't remember. This is like 2 months ago now, so don't judge me, please, when I bought this. You get 210 meters in it. It's also grey beige because obviously they have to match. And you get 30% mulberry silk and 70% super kid mohair in it. And this is actually made in Italy. Interesting. So for these two, I'm going to hold them together, and I want to make the Colette sweater by Sari Nordland. I think that's what it's called. That's what I bought this yarn for. I don't know when I'm gonna cast this on. I do have now quite a lot of mohair and a lot of wool, especially after raiding the yarn shops in England. I have so much wool and I don't even know anymore where to put it because my shelf is full, my plastic bins are full. I love it, but I think I need to go on a bit of a wool buying ban. Not that I need more wool anyways, I mean, no one needs more wool, but wool makes me happy, okay? And I need to be happy with gloomy weather outside and people just being super grumpy in Vienna because life. It was such a big difference when I came back from the UK because everyone is super nice and friendly and just polite in general. Even the people that were not happy were still really polite. And then I come back to Austria and everyone's just grumpy, hating their lives, and I'm like, I want to go back, please take me back. Anyways, this is my most recent yarn acquisition before I left. I'm happy with it. I heard a lot of things about this yarn as well, and I hope it's going to live up to the expectations. That's one thing I'm really hesitant to work with these yarns immediately, because the expectations are so high and I really don't want to be disappointed. I think that's why a lot of the really high quality yarns in general and things are still in boxes and just on my shelf and not being touched, because I don't like to be disappointed. But then I guess if you go in with zero expectations, you can't get disappointed. That's a life hack for you. Right there, I should have been a philosopher in a different life. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm rambling at this point. It's already like 20 minutes long, this episode, so I don't know how much I should tell you in this video. All in all, England was great. I loved it. I was there for 6 days, 5 days really, because on the 6th one I already flew out again in the morning. So I got there at England. My flight left in Austria at 7. I was in England at 9 in the morning. Had the whole day kind of there to explore, which I did. I saw all of the main tourist attractions. The weather was great. I mean, it was raining quite a lot, but there were some really sunny days and that also made me happy. But then again, rain kind of goes with England. If there wasn't any rain, it wouldn't be England, let's be honest. I also went to Cambridge for 1 day and for Oxford for 1 day, which was just incredible. I love doing those day trips. I was really exhausted at the end of each day, but it was really nice to see so many things and just to get away and see different people, different cultures than from what you're used to. So I had a fantastic time. I'm so proud of myself for doing it on my own, because it was a solo trip, my first ever solo trip. I had absolutely no hiccups, which is fantastic. I thought I would have a lot more, I don't know, unexpected problems, but it's a good thing that nothing happened. So yeah, I really can't wait to go back. The next trip I would like to do, I mean, that's not going to happen anytime soon, but I would like to see Edinburgh. So I feel like now the logical thing forward would be Scotland. I've also been to Ireland, which was really nice. Also, I really want to go to Cornwall, but in general I just really want to do an England trip. I want to go from the south to the very north, do all of the stuff in England, then go all through Scotland, and then Ireland potentially. That's my dream, but whatever, we're not here to talk about dreams, we're talking about what I already did. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know this was very chaotic. I feel like the episodes get more and more chaotic. Let me know if you're working on a Christmas sweater, if you plan on doing a Christmas knit this year apart from gift knitting, just something for yourself or not, because I don't know if I should with all of the whips going on, but at the same time it would be nice. So let me know about that. Also let me know how you're doing. I would be really interested. Are you in your knitting era right now, or is the motivation a little bit on the downside? And yeah, just talk to me. Would be interested to know, yeah, just in general how you're doing. Like this video if you did enjoy it, even though it was so chaotic. Subscribe to my channel if you feel like it. You can also follow me on Instagram. That always makes me really happy as well. You can also send me messages on Instagram. That always makes my day as well. And I hope I'm gonna see you next week with all of the juicy gossip that I have from the UK trip, and all of the yarn goodies that I brought back, because there is a lot of yarn. So yeah, hopefully I will see you next week, and if not, then I'm gonna see you in 2 weeks for my next podcast episode. Have a good day, weekend, whenever you're gonna watch this, and I'm gonna see you next time. Happy knitting! Bye!